today with minor fouls, and then we'll head to major fouls and offsides. So that order will be just a little bit different than straight in the rule book, but we will end up hitting all of this information. We're gonna do some group work, we're gonna do some breakout groups, we're gonna have to talk to people. It's gonna be a good time. All right, so how we doing?
Good. I'm just making sure that this is on there.
So this will be something from last class that you are something new. Something new. Can you tell me? I'm calling you something new. Everybody along with the game, but you have to learn something new. So what you got? Yes.
Overtime had a 7 victory rule.
Okay, good. Don't hear her? What's she saying?
Overtime has a 7.
Okay, Sun Victor, what does that mean? Or someone is more now. Okay, someone else, what you got? Don't be shy.
I didn't know about this.
The 12-meter fan? Okay, perfect. So a lot of those markings on the field, remember we talked about, mostly they are the visible lines. You have your 8-meter, you have your 12-meter, and then what is one of our invisible lines? Which is still important that marks things for us to set up fouls. These are smarties, by the way. You guys are smart. All right, go on. So what's one of our invisible lines that we don't know? Or that isn't drawn in? Okay, the dots are the dots in the back. There, we do set up penalties there. Box. Okay, so behind the cage, yes, what's it called? The yes box. What does it say, right? Thank you. So smart. All right, so the critical scoring area, right? So it goes from the 12 all the way back to the dot and sort of creates like that box shape in the back. Can I pull up my PowerPoint now? Bear with me, guys. Let's see. So we're going to start with minor fouls. Peek in your workbook and kind of get to the minor foul section to where you're going. Should be one pass. Outside, so rule 9, so we're on page 19. It may not coincide exactly. This is just kind of information. I'll be doing some talking, and I think a lot of us, right, we're pretty well versed in our knowledge to an extent. So we'll kind of go through some very quickly. Certainly stop me if you have any questions. But a minor foul is something that is going to be like a misplay in the game, right? It's not something for safety concern. It does not involve any body contact. You know, nothing that I'm concerned about per se. Minor. Something like easy. So misplay on the ball, procedural errors, and leaving the equipment. So, volleyball, I mean, there's a lot of lists in here, and you've got your minor foul list. You know, on this one side, you can reference, this is a quick reference since we don't have rule books issued yet. But volleyball, now it's going to be something that's deliberate. All right, so you can't take the ball that was made several years ago, keep the ball to your teammates. You still can't use your hands to grab the ball or, you know, toss it to someone, something like that. But otherwise, we're not really concerned about it as officials unless it's something deliberate that you're getting an advantage. Yes. Sure. So kind of being new, I want you to think about two things and kind of clumping it into, it is something we're looking for. Do they gain advantage? And is it major versus minor? So is there a safety concern? So then you can kind of bucket them into, maybe you don't remember the exact term, you don't know the mechanic your first year every single time, but you saw it, you know, oh, that's dangerous, or oh, that's just a misprint of the ball, their uniform, something like that. Not going to hurt anybody, minor fouls. You can kind of bucket it and make it, you know, easy for yourself so you don't freeze up those first couple days. All right, so volleyball, really looking for deliberate. Covering, we see this a lot in the youth games. Done a lot when you're starting out. The players all go for the ball. Now, something to be said is, again, you're looking for advantage. So high school players and college particularly, you know that if there's no one with you, you can tap the ball, yes? Is anyone gonna get advantage by doing that? No, right? So, guarding the ball, keeping someone else from getting it, with your foot body cross, preventing someone from getting the ball is really what we're looking for. So is there advantage gained? And then, clearly at the youth level, they don't maybe even know they're gaining advantage, right? But they're all going for it, and then someone's just gonna cover, a player could have gotten the ball, therefore it would be, a foul. But in this one, nonetheless, dangerous. Interesting, like also at the youth level, you'll see a lot of this, touching or impeding the opponent's cross when it's not in contact with the ball. Alright. Legal, incidental, just because the crosses are hitting each other, going for a ball, does not mean necessarily that it's a foul. All right, so ground balls with the draw, ground balls running, deflection or the pass, something like that. You know, again, looking for the advantage. And if the legal and the opponent is ball and you just could have gotten the ball, then yes, advantage is D.
We have sound, no, but you can't see the thing. Yeah, unless you share your screen. You'll have to.
Pause. All right, how about now? All right. Boarding is something also going for the ball, guarding with across the arm. A lot of times you'll see, and we tell the youth players, you know, 2 hands on the stick, 1 hand comes off the stick, running in motion. It's easy to just push that player out of the way using your arm. Now, again, do the arm, can you run freely with 1 hand? Things about skills or certainly you can do that. However, just because the hand comes off the stick doesn't mean it's going to be a foul with boarding, what we also with the court. As this gives her advantage to where she's pushing that other player out of the way, or she's gaining space that she couldn't have otherwise, right? So again, looking at that, it may not be to ward an opponent off, elbows cannot protect the cross. So you have to be entitled to your own space, but so is that defender, right?
To me, that looks like boarding.
Yes.
Advantage gained.
Gaining advantage is taking additional space than would otherwise be in her cradle, yes. And even a forced arm out, or she held it, keeps it back also. Only a minor foul, a lot of times it gets too close, it's a major, but just coming out on the stick, unless she put it also, not a major. Putting out of bounds, so you can't take cover the game out of bounds, so you can't put the ball out of bounds, okay? And people manage to touching the ball in your hands as soon as years ago, but only 1 player can touch the ball with their hand, and only in 1 particular spot. Any goalies in the house? Yes, all right, cross to you. But that whole circle, including the circle itself and everywhere within, is you. All right, so the ball rests on the goal circle. You can take it out with your hands. You just have to put it in your stick before you throw it out, right? So the goalkeeper or jockey, and I guess we'll talk a little bit about that later, has rights in the goal circle. Throwing your cross, playing without your cross, all that, and anything about giving you advantage. You don't really see it, but some of the youth girls may not know, so just to give them a little efficiency. We talked about last time, some circle cues. Squeezing that pad or with your hands, you know, the top of the cross so it holds the ball in, something like that. Okay. Procedural errors to play games, something that falls into this category, or 3 cards. We'll talk about cards kind of through a little bit later. So let's not too much need something like that. So understand the players are practice stands. Those are really coming to play now with movement, but there are other areas on the field where you still are supposed to be in your position. Or moving individual way, that were position setup, and moving it also some of the specific numbers here. Repeat yourself starts from beyond play distance, any type of behavior which is additional opinion is going to delay the game. To delay the game intentionally against So the green cards, for things at a high level, you get a green card, takes possession, similar to a minor foul. Okay, but you still get your green card as an official to indicate what's happening or just to turn over there. For your second violation, you show 2 cards, green and yellow. Right, so it's escalating, and then the player will enter a 2-minute penalty. You'll see here, it does not count in team card count, meaning it's not yellow card from one of our other cardinal fouls, right? So that hopefully makes sense because it didn't come across from a major misconduct error like a foul or, a splash, something like that. So we don't want to penalize the team with it to the card count, but we are going to do it to give them 2 minutes to sit out for the game. Anything subsequent though, then it would be, and I would say this hopefully is pretty rare, and at the youth level, probably we're not seeing these kind of errors just simply because we're trying to verbally cue them to develop their skills. But again, in the game, you need to know it. But subsequently, you have yellow card, it counts in 2 minutes. There's a red card as well, and then they would count for the team count like that. Earlier, you had a draw, and then it's reversal. When you guys are straight line and whistle, new rules coming into place with this. So some of these again that we speak about this evening will not. We know they're changing for 2023, but you're still going to have to test on the current rules. So I may speak to them just briefly, but we'll get that full interpretation on some of those things later. So kind of FYI, if you've already read that information, then we can discuss a little bit, but I don't want to have you complete, commit on it until we take our next rule test in the spring as a group. But crossing the same line before possession established in the field after we put our hands on the stick. So once again, at the draw, once we do our hands on the stick, there's no more in and out on the field, whether that's coming in from the sub box or over the restraining line. Penalty administration for that was the team, spot ball, offending players in the team 4 meters away, down goes all start, pretty much they just right. Reman communication use girls, go, right? Self-start, go ahead. A lot of them, especially the really young girls, like 2nd, 3rd, 4th, they're still very much learning, but the 5th through 8th, and a lot of those teams have been together since they were that young. So they play, pretty well and understand the rules quite a bit. Improper equipment, and no forward. You mentioned a little bit last time, absolutely deal breaker. You cannot let those little babies on the field with any tape up earrings or anything. And you probably see some tears, but we have to stay strong on that. For the older girls, same thing, those nose rings, lip rings, any of that business gotta come up. Okay. The hairband, they kind of relax a little bit on like the hairband, if it's on the wrist. If it's soft or direct, if they're like against the scalp and they're not protruding, those are okay now. But that's been in more recent years. Not wearing your mouthpiece also has to be in your mouth at all times. Who's gotten called on having their mouthpiece in and out? Anyone? Yeah, will you do it again? It's not worth it, right? Not worth it. All right, who can tell me something about the mouth guard that we learned last time? Fun fact about mouth guard rules. Yes. Help prevent concussions. What else? They could be what? They can't be one. Okay, they can't be one or what? Black is cool, but what? Clear. Right? Clear. Because what? Want to see their teeth, right? Want to make sure we want to make sure we're not mistaking them for teeth, rather. But black is good, red good. If they had a white one and they were marked, so we can make sure that the color that has to be visible also in the before. When would you see these things happen in person? Anytime, very good. All right. Failure to remove your eye protection. Lance, guys, all of this is crazy now, doesn't it? To see players without goggles. Like that's when I very beginning started and really switched to goggles, but it seems so odd now. Apple have eye protection. Uniform needs to meet specifications. Talked a little bit about that last time. Again, these levels are all the same color, you got a number. Good to go. You have to talk to your partner, the coaches, maybe about something peculiar to kind of make sure that they get going. Fine. If it's not going to be a safety concern, let's try to let them play. Okay. We'll cross the proximity, something we talked about that last time. Goal is not how they scored when they cross, they adjust things. for today. How are we doing? Right, so good so far? All right, so some additional ones, illegal entry. So running out of bounds, illegal entry to gain advantage. Illegal zigzag request beyond the normal time for the team. Substituting illegally, requesting more than 2 timeouts. All right, so now we talked about kind of the group of them. Let's do a little bit on penalty administration. So CSA, what does it stand for? Critical scoring area. Killing, tell us where it is. Well, critical scoring area is going to go all the way, yeah, all the way back, right? You got it. And then you got, so outside that area, right? So everywhere we want to go, all the way outside the high school, outside CSA, free position at spot ball. So spread it out. So you're going to see the ball that some of them are going to try turbulent. So first you start out where does the ball go, right? Now also go to the spot. Where does the other go? We're going to go further away. Now again, stuff starts happening. Free movement is happening. The tag is that we're still supposed to get this space. Okay? So they need to create some sort of effort to move 4 meters away. And everyone else also 4 meters away. Okay? But self-start is around or outside that critical scoring area. That's kind of the key that we're going to focus on now. The game is changing self-start or not. This is where self-start is kind of place. Okay? To finish now, a lot of the goal line extended. So goal line extended is where the goal circle break out from the goal circle, right? So inside the CSA now, all right, we're going to position the ball. Then it says minor foul. It's going to go to the 12-meter fan nearest the spot. So if it's inside the 8, it's going to go to the 12. If it's inside between the 8 and the 12, it's going to go also to the 12. Okay. The offender is going to be the other way, and then we have the opportunity is an 8-meter because she's defending to have somewhere between the goal and that player. Not always. So this is called that. It's still one of those positions. It could be to the side, right? Relative position. Everyone else is away. And again, because it is CSA, we have an indirect for one because of my foul. What does that mean? They have to pass first. So indirect, we verbally say that. And that means they have to make a pass. And what else? Whistle starts. Okay. And if you're kind of thinking why that's happening, well, what's the player going to do? What are they doing? They're trying to shoot. Is it fair if we don't have a whistle for the goalie to just stop the penalty and somebody will come and shoot it? Does that give advantage? So kind of, if you think about the whistle start in those areas, is because we want to let the goalie, know that that's happening, right? Everybody's going to play in competition. So, animations coming in the next slide. So let's say we have an A1 attack with the ball, D1 is here, and let's say there's an intersection. How do you go fire? Heard anybody? No, but where is it? Inside the 8, so therefore is it inside the CSA? Yes. All right, so what's going to happen? You bring the attack player out here, attacks got the ball. D1 is in front because when the foul occurs, he was already in front, right? You're going to pull them both out. And then 4 minutes away, you have to start again, we say indirect. Okay? So, careful. Another foul we'll talk about later, D1 in a different scenario, it was not indirect, it was not. Shooting space, we'll talk about that. But indirect, it's going to be right in front. She's not shooting right there, she has to pass first. All right, so now above the goal line, inside the CSA, position defender, spotted foul, at least 8 meters from goal or away, direction from which to approach, whistle start. So this is on the attack. So we're positioned now on the defender is the ball, so we're going out at least 8 meters from going out. Whistle start this year. This is changing. This is going to be able to self-start. So for now, whistle start. All right, so let's look at with the animation. So if you say that with the attack this time, We always have to be 8 meters from the goal, so now the staff gets the ball on the 8, they were inside the 8, right? So they're gonna come out to the 8, get the ball, attack, it's gonna be 4 meters from the line, and currently, and everyone else, they're not on the slide, right? 4 meters away, right? All right, below the goal line is extended, so below me, behind the goal line, all right, so GLE, goal line extended, so the ball is distance, they're not in any player, they're stopped, so those 2 dots behind goal are going to be positioning areas for us, and they also represent 8 meters away from the goal behind it. So before we have the dots, we were kind of estimating, so to speak, using the other markings on the field, but now it's more for sure we know where to go. 8 meters away in goal, we're going to the dot, 4 meters away, and it's the approach again. Whistle start because we're still on the dot setup, 4 meters away. Okay. All right. So let's say you're going to tell our behind back then. X gets the ball on at the closest dot. So O again, relative positioning. So X is right over here. It's already at this stage 4 meters away. Whistle start. We're going to go. Okay. Firehouse and snapshot. So we're going to do activity. All right. So yeah. Right, we're going to take you over to exercise. In your first class, you can come to the second teacher along, but I'm going to give you the directions, and then I'm going to give each group a handout. It's penalty administration for discussion. First activity, for instance, let's see, there are 10 total. We're going to do groups about 5, depending on, there might be a couple of 6, but I want every. You go a little. We got to be a little smaller. Yeah, we got it. But yeah, just chunk them however, but yeah. So there is the bold, it gives you a scenario, and then after that, I want one person to start with the sheet, you're going to read the bold, you're going to talk to the group, and then the answer is here, you're going to get the answer, and you're going to make sure that makes sense. You're going to pass the sheet to the next person, they're going to read over number 2. And you're going to go around, okay? So one person's going to read it, have the answer, and the rest are going to want you to discuss over that particular one. There are 10 total. We're going to put you in a groups of 8 groups. Get comfy, get up, get comfy, you're gonna move, you might be uncomfortable, but you'll get over it. Okay, we're all grown up, right? Okay, come on in. See something to do. Yeah, so you read the first one, just guys, and you're out. Yeah, just make sure all right.
I'm not running that full field. Most of the time, it's like, well, I'm looking forward to like this car. You know,
All right, so a couple things, but I'm just kind of going around the room, different questions that kind of came up for clarity. Number one, so just to kind of clarify that, what's happening in number one is attempting to stop the ball is rolling out of bounds. So the ball is loose, it's going out of bounds. The player can run with it, trap it, so essentially cover it before it goes out of bounds to stop it from doing so. She may then continue out of bounds on her own, and as long as she steps back onto the field without playing the ball until she gets back in bounds, then she's legal again, right? She can then pick it up and go. So the group over here, what we discussed was, why would we not call a cover in that scenario? It's vanished, right? Now, the way it's written, now, could there have been another player there? Yes, could have been a cover if someone could have made a play also, but also kind of a technicality there is if the player runs out of bounds from her momentum and isn't making a play on the ball, she can come back onto the field and be legal and then pick up the ball and go. Okay, so that was a good scenario. Also, let's see, number 4. So it's implied because of the wording that the teammate is on an indirect free position. So that should tell you if she's already set up for an indirect, where is she? At the 12, so she's in the CSA, right? So she's already set up with the indirect. And then before she has a chance to take that indirect and pass first, she gets fouled again, this time with a major foul, which we'll go into in a bit. And therefore, continues, shoots, scores, and yes, it's a goal. So again, the major foul took away that indirect issue because she was played again, and now the major foul happens, and so yes, the goal counts in that instance. Now, if it was an indirect free position and she went straight to goal and shot, would that be allowed as the whole count? No, because indirect free position, right? You cannot shoot on indirect free position, so that would then become a turnover. So just to clarify, that one number 4, and then also the back, so the headgear strap is dangling loosely. So headgear, different from goggles, where headgear is newer in the game, that's the headgear that you see a few of the players wearing. Now, if the strap is loose, and just like if your goggle strap is really loose, or your sticks, you know, you're supposed to take those down, tuck them in, what have you. However, I would tell you, I mean, yes, it's an equipment issue, so therefore minor foul, but if these little babies are, you know, let them tighten the strap, right? Like, tell them, you know, tell them to tighten it. You can have an official's timeout, tighten the strap. We're going to play on, and no harm, no foul. Okay, so to speak. But you know, we don't want to again keep them from playing when they probably need to know that that was a thing. You know, so at the youth level, yes, let's give them a couple opportunities to make the adjustments, and then you can talk to the coach at halftime, you know, to make sure the players keep this, you know, tied down, blah blah blah. Okay, so some of those at the youth level, we want to, you know, still make sure that they can play and they're still learning. You know, we can tell her, you know, what to do. But certainly you would want to stop it if it's causing any kind of safety issue. If the stick could get caught in there or whatever, then, you know, do make that adjustment on your own call. All right, so how are my thoughts? You feel pretty good? Okay, so we're going to move into our goal circle. on fast. Okay, so we're on goal circle fouls. I think you have to go to a different spot in your. Administration is somewhat like a minor as far as the position, so. You find it? Yeah, so the use is page 15 and the word number. So some of the use would still apply, so let's just see how it's done, okay? Some of the uses might have to continue, but nonetheless, on the next slide, goal circle fouls, that is still clear, they come out through. Okay, so some of the further guarantees of the atmosphere, goal circle, GP. Okay, goal circle is only two on the side. This is like let's go deeper. I'm not sure if all that into the goal circle now. That's going to be changing. But I'm going to ask you now. Will you return all that into the goal circle? That goal circle is already there. Okay, that changes recently. Okay, so if you start to step out and you've got one foot in, one foot out, you put back in, right, last year, instead of having to continue out. Now, and you still must throw the ball within 10 seconds. So the idea would be clear. You start as an official, your count, your arm is going outward, the way, so if I'm going this way, my goalie is here. If I'm on the other side of the field and the goalie is on this side, my count goes here. So you're using your arm to direct the direction that the ball is going. So my arm signal is going to be nice and high, and I am having it go 1 second at a time. Now, in the youth level, you want to always, anytime you're having your visible. The youth level, probably as you're getting closer to 10, you're going to also go audible to make sure they know they got to get rid of it. They're going to be flustered, they may not, they may never been in the goalie position before. Here, today's your day, go, So, we want to make sure that you give them the opportunity to keep the ball, right? Get rid of the ball, clear the ball, and you're still continuing your count. That count begins as soon as the ball enters the goal circle. You do not wait for that goalie to pick it up. If it goes in the back and the goalie's in the front, and it takes her 2-3 seconds to pick it up, then you've already counted. Okay, as soon as it goes in, you're making it. Shots. Why might that be? Why? She has no pads on, right? Think about yourself as a field player. You want to go in and take that pass coming at you? Okay, so that can be only when you do the goal. Can only be for also when you're in possession. Okay. And then only the goalkeeper or okay, so goalkeeper play. All right, so if the goalie needs to go circle to play the ball around. I didn't ask it here, but I should have, right? This is another slide because now if 1 foot's out, 1 foot in, she can't step back in. All right, but this is kind of what it might look like. But the goalie has to clear the ball out of the goal circle and cannot get it right back until it's played. So played is going to be that, she makes a pass, another player it hits the ground, someone else picks it up. She is fouled if she comes out of the goal circle and she's fouled. That ball has been played. And you go back and why would it not make sense if the goalie waits for her, at second number 5 and she steps out and then she jumps it back in and goes back in. She's going to get another 10 seconds. Does that make sense? Does it? And then she's going to roll it out and only she's going to step back in for another 10 seconds. Okay, field players, what are you waiting on? Come on. Is that fair? It's taking up too much time, right? She's getting an advantage by doing that. So we have to see the ball's been played in order for that to happen. So there's an opportunity for the ball to make it into someone else's hands. What happens? Make sense? Okay. So after that. All right. So once the goal is out, she's not All the way outside. The circle line is the goalie. The ball rests on the line, the goalie can take it. All right, that is for her. A track player follows through with her cross over the goal circle, but only when? What level? Only high school. That's changing. This year, 2023, but for your test currently, youth are not allowed to go with any part of their sticker body into the goal circle. You think of it as a cylinder. And again, in 2023, they've adjusted that down to where it matches the high school. And so you will be able to follow through, but that's coming a little bit later. Okay? Only for that shooter, they can only follow through if their feet or their body comes inside the goal circle otherwise, or even if their momentum carries them in, take the goal back. Now, what if they're pushed in? What do you think? Does it count? Guess why? Push into the goal circle. They were intentionally take a look, but goal could count. Until then, you can't run into the goal circle. Don't blow up your whistle those first few times out. Give them opportunity to the markings on the field, particularly those newer. But if the goalie creates or has a violation for the goal circle, then the ball still goes back there. But does it make sense that we're also going to pull the goalie back there too? No. Right. So she could stay in. The free position would still be set up back there. Okay. All right. Next activity. Forgot about this one. All right. So we're getting a few things also where there may be a few where some of the language has been changed or is about to change. So if you notice, rules or rules, I want you to think about that also. All right, but this everyone is a little quizzy, and you're going to determine if the goalie in or out. If you don't finish, you're going to spend a little bit of time and pause again to work on this. But if you don't if you work with neighbors, certainly. Yeah. Take that and 2 minutes out.
It's just really cold in here. I want to go get a sweatshirt. Number two, number three is out.
What if they change it? There were reviews, some of the language changed, like I said, either this last year or it's coming maybe. And even though you won't be tested on it, this class, you will see those played in the fall tournaments for all of us to get used to the new rules. So players, coaches, officials, and all that will still be practicing them. Just know that we'll formally test on this new ones later. So kind of in general, page 1 through 6, any questions that kind of came up to clarify for that one? Number 1, I'm going to give you the answers and then we can take questions, right? So number 1 is out, 2 in, 3 in, 4 out, 5 out, 6 out. So let me just give you a couple notes first. So number 1, what's the key word and why does she have to come out because when it goes empty? What's the ball doing? Bouncing, and what do we say? It has to be rolling, otherwise that can be putting her in danger, right? So that's your keyword there. Number 2, who saw something with number 2? Anybody number 2? There's some language that kind of needs to be tweaked a little bit because of what happened in 2022 rule change. The grounded, right? So we spoke to that. So now 1 foot in, 1 foot out is okay, right? She doesn't have to keep moving. So she can stay in. She doesn't have to keep moving with the new rule 2022. All right, number 3 is because she's legally checked. Okay, so it's not a foul situation. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, I think a little more straightforward with those. Any questions again, page 1? Now, keep in mind, a lot of you starting with the youth games, you're not going to see some of these. I mean, these are like just really good scenarios to consider, right? But again, I want to teach you to what all the things, and then you can adapt, right? You're going to be great officials. That's the idea, right? all the things in the game. Number 7 is in, 8 in, 9 out, 10 out, 11 out. Okay, couple notes on this one. Number 7, we were discussing there's some changes now also with free movement, right? We have to consider. So does the goalie have to be the one to go get the ball now? If she's the closest, does she have to be the one to get it? No, right? Anyone can get it. Lally brought up a good point. We don't want to say goalie ball because we're used to that. We really want to say blue, right? So that anyone on the team can go get it. And if the goalie indeed is the closest, is she really gonna, even if she's in her circle, is she want to go get that ball? We probably have a better ball handler that can go grab it, more speed, right, with all the equipment and all that too, right? So that was something also with free movement kind of changes how we might think of that question. But anyone can bring it in, and even if the goalie was the closest, she doesn't have to take it in for circle anymore. Number 8, I think was good. Number 9, keyword happening in number 9 is that there was no possession. All right, another one with the deputy issue, right? Team has to be in possession. Number 10, illegally covers the ball. So similar idea, goalie can get called for covering if players are there. Right, so illegally covers the ball. You'll see that word kind of tied in. It's not just covering, but illegally covering. Number 11, outside of her goal circle, then she has to stay out. So did anyone kind of notice something in general happening when the goalie commits a foul versus when she's not in her position? Any general conclusions from your questions? Anyone? If the goalie's out, she's out. All right, now what if there's been a shot taken on her? If she committed the foul, does she take the foul, have to serve a penalty on it and move her position? If she committed it, the goalie committed it, then yes. However, if her team committed it and she's in the penalty lane, does she still get to go in and protect the goal? Yes, right, because she did not commit the foul. Okay, so kind of think of the goalie issue as like those 2 buckets, like the goalie commits the foul or not, because unless she actually committed the foul, pretty much every time she's going back in. So some of that came up on the next page, number 12. Continues into the next page is out. And again, the reasoning there, she's not in the penalty lane. All right, so keep her out because the shot is happening from behind, right? It's that time to get back in there. 13 in. That's a good example of a goal circle violation. We spoke to earlier, going to near shots, but the goalie stays in because the goalie committed that foul. We don't place her behind unless the actual defender committed that goal circle violation. She would then go behind. 14 out, 15 out, 16 in, 17 in, 18 out, 19 out, 20 in. Again, with the penalty lane coming up there, and then 21, goalie did not commit the foul. Okay, questions? How we do? Good? All right. So a lot of you will not see in the youth game so specifically, but again, bucket it as a new official. Goalie committed the foul or goalie not. Okay. All right. We're gonna go on to major fouls. So major fouls. So if you have your little reference sheet, it's going to be that other column. Major fouls kind of is the general list. All right. And then on the back, just to kind of give you some ideas, there is the blue setup that we're also discussing the penalty administration for major minors. You'll also see here still whistles, and we'll hit levels. We won't see it as much, but we will hit a high level of misconduct fouls, and offsides also fall into this part of the presentation. There are their own bucket of fouls, but we do administer them similar to a major within a position. So that's why they're interesting. Major fouls, minor misplays, not safety. Major, think of the word major. Now we're running into safety issues. So you're going to Offside. So. Allows the play. Cards. Blocking out their shooting space or obstruction to free space in these 3 seconds, and then holding or pushing another opponent. Okay? So all of these should be clearly safety issues. Okay? Can cause harm, cause a player to fall, and drag them in their rows. Right, so and or even with or without the ball, let's say, and you're really down at somebody's fingers in front of your face. So you know it's wrong. Before again, whatever, don't worry about that. You know it's wrong, you know that's dangerous to be up in somebody's grill, so you can move it out, so you can whatever. To come across, right? Using the place. What is this? And they can't, their own words, this place. Everyone's entitled to their own space. Their path. That could be you gaining an advantage, yes, therefore or foul. But if you use it, then that's going to be years ago. So anywhere up in here, you know, we want to be really cognizant of that, and that is a targetable foul. Slashing, contact or not. Position for that you'll check. Often we see the hands drop, so they get more of a reach. They're already beat right down in the field in that transition, but not always. Wednesday, not necessarily play football, does not have to be that, but you're going to. If it's real worse, then yes, that's a foul. All right. Ready to contact again, not necessary. All right, so now foul against the defensive player. Propel. Follow through. Maybe that shooter actually following through. Okay, it may not necessarily hit the player, but it may be still dangerous coming into their space. All right, dangerous follow through with the cross is the movement versus propel is the ball. All right, same idea. Forcing through. If there's a double team established, for instance, they can't force their way through that space, cradle illegally, they're cradling in their sphere. With the body foul, charge, illegal pace, and pushing. Right, again, any of those could be dangerous movement, changing the path of the player, already taking up for space. You're gonna know if it's a misplay versus a safety issue. Okay. All right, so notes about charge. If the defense is already established, is entitled to that space. The offender or attacker should have an opportunity to change their direction. Defender may change their space, therefore we might see the turn. Okay. A lot of times in the higher levels, you'll see some run, right? So look out for that. Part of the job of an official is to be in the right location, to see the penalty between the players and see who's in space first. Right? Just because the player falls down doesn't always mean a foul. In any instance, right? Offense or defense. All right, so cradle needs to here. Why is that illegal? Are the defenders wanting to check the ball? Can they check in here? No. So then on the flip side, it should make sense that the attacker cannot cradle with the ball in the sphere either, right? Now, in the youth level, there's a rule around that because we don't allow checking at the younger levels. So we have traditional checking now, right? And then the younger levels are still the modified, and then at 3-4, there's 9. Correct? Okay, so 5-6 is the modified, so that looks like from below the shoulder, and the check has to still be down and away, right? 2 hands on the stick, down and away. But modified checking for youth, it happens below the shoulder. All right, they still have to be legal, meaning, they check it, they're not going to hold it to get that additional advantage. But the way around that is to have 3 seconds to defense. So since they're not allowed to check fully, if they have their stick in checkable position, all right, we count 1, 2, tweet. And if they don't make the move, you have to put it on the other side of the body, dodge around the player, pass it off. It's going to be a turnover because that defender will otherwise check if they were allowed to. Right? And since they're modified, that's the rule that you have to make for that. Okay? And you'll see that in our youth little chunk at the end. But otherwise, you will bring all. Defenders are really they want to check between they want it were allowed. All right, so tell me about outside so here, 8 movements is going the stretching. So we have attacking defender. There's a foul. All right, so what's going on? The major foul, here's the difference. Where's the clear one? Not just away, but where not? Behind. So think of the difference. Away and minor, you're just giving them some space. Major foul, we're really going to be much to put you behind. However, what's also happening? Middle of the field. Right? Self start. So there has to be the intent, yes, for the defender to go, but does the attacker have to wait if she's ready? He does not. Okay, now, the defender, she can wait. Can she wait until she gets her space? The defender is she might have to be like, nope. Go ahead. Okay, so they might not necessarily realize all those things, but if you don't spread the foul return, spot the ball, you're going to pick it up and self start. All right, so now setting up major fouls outside of the play, we're down here. Okay, similar scenario. So now she's behind, but what do you notice about the behind? Why is she at the angle? Think about that. Okay, so if she's going to goal, if the defender was here, could that give the defender an advantage to be closer to sweep around and get to the goal? Yeah, it could. So we place her this way at the angle because she's going to goal. And so we want the defender to be 4 meters behind, but in the direction of the goal. When she's back here in midfield, behind is fine, right? As we get closer to that area, keep that angle in mind. Oh no, I need to plug my computer in. Yeah. Will it work with it? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Now, yeah. below rod of the GLE. So remember, GLE is the extended here and here on either side. We're still in the CSA though, right? Because we're inside where that 12-meter fan would go all the way back and the foul happened back there. Where's it gonna go? Hey, it's gonna go. It's on out. And we also, the dot is how far away from the circle. That's going to be set in 8 meters. So if the foul happened, let's say right here, right, it's closer than 8 meters, so it's still going to go to the dot. If it happened back here, it's still in the CSA, so it's going to go to the dot. Okay. And a little bit of her should even be probably even more of an angle, really, right? But she's got the angle so that player can come around. Okay, setting up major fouls. Now we're in the CSA. We're above the GLE, right? So now we're above this area. CSA again, all the way to the 12-meter fan. So fouls occurring between 8 and 12. So we're going to pull out that major foul here because it's between 8 and 12. It's going to go to that 12. Right, she's still behind. Whistle start or self start. CSA. All right, make a note if there's just also that the lane is clear. So now that we're in front of the goal, we have this additional step. It's as if you had 4 imaginary lines coming right off of the goal circle. So where that right is going to but there's movement otherwise, right? As long as the lake is clear, we're good to go. Why does the lane need to be clear? What's happening? What's happening? Space, right? So putting it first, sure. Because it's low, there could be something, right? So I'll be looking for those things as well. All right. Exchange 2020. And then what about either side here? Youth level so that they know that role that it's for them to take when they get older, right? So you want to let the defenders have on either side, and then also we're going to clear penalty zone, which is this. Okay, so another set of imaginary lines or space for you to know. And well, she's getting a foul awarded because of the foul. She's getting a free shot at goal, right? So if it happens inside the 8 meters, she gets to take a hash, close the pass, and then the player can use it more times, and we clear all of this space. So all players are clear of this area. Okay, so there's a clear group here of space, and then CSA. This really would be all these girls have to go back in. We talked about that with size. there, you're hanging out, you need to be within a 6 length of who you're defending. So if you are not there, then you're gonna get called for 3 seconds. So let's say the ball is spot of the ball. Now, it changes in 2023 because we used to have this in the field. We did have this little thing. If the ball was out here, the 3 seconds are called, then the ball goes up like it's weird, right? Because 3 seconds happens. It's gonna be a good change that we're gonna put in, right? But more to come on that. We'll text it in the fall. All right, 3 seconds, always occurs in the spot. All right. Major foul by the defense. Goalkeeper commits a foul, the goal line is goal protection. The goal circle, and the ball does not get the foul. But the penalty zone is clear, and she gets the goals. We talked about that already. Right. A team, similarly, they cannot take off the ball 8 meters from the goal. So if she's within the 8, we're going to pull her out to at least the 8. If she's in the 8 here, we're going to pull her out here. If she's back here, dot. All right. So as long as she's 8 meters away, wherever that foul occurs, we're going to pull her. And then she can take off. Now, we'll now to start, but later that will change to be self-start this next year. All right, so now she's in the below the GLE. When the attack fouls, the defense is the free position and after dot. Okay, so if it's back here, like we said, she would come out, this would be the closest 8 meters away. Okay. In the CSA outside of the arc, so the attack fouls in the CSA but not 8 meters. Then do we have to move her further out? But we're still going to give turn the ball over and she can still be or behind if it's the major. And then she should be able to, again, let's just start now since it's supposed to start this next year. All right. Major foul illustration. So let's say the foul happening out there. All right. And the CSA out. So just like anywhere on the field, what's going to happen? If it's major foul, where's the other one go? Behind, change to start? Yes. All right. What about if the defense fouls here? All right. It's inside between 8 and the 12. It's a major foul. So there's your 2 players. Defender's going to go in or attack. Is going to get the ball, and then the defense is going to go behind. So between 8 and 12, we're going to pull it out here. Inside the 8, we're going to pull it. And then it's definitely, we still have our counts in there. Right? From the 8 to the 12 for me. Right? Minors for indirect, so let's worry about that. What about if we're inside the 8? Where'd we go? Closest pass, nearest way out. So if you think about the foul here, you just go straight out, closest pass. The defender is going to go behind, we get the adjacent pass. Defenders also, and then let's just start self-start. Let's just start good. And because of the last part, what else? This business too, right? Penalty zone alter. If the ball's out here, we have just the lane, but if it's here, I just pick them up. Okay, penalty zone 68. Lane only if it's at the 12. All right. What if we're behind the goal? Major foul, are we going to see it? Yes, technically because of this, right? So where's it going to go? There you go. Very good. And look at the angle here. So it's 4 meters behind, but it's not behind out here. Right? It's the direction of our approach to goal. So when you get close, you have to think about that angle also, because if she's back here, then it could be your advantage. Right? All right. So I don't know if you'll see this. Yeah. So let's just, we'll kind of do a few of these, just I'll kind of call them out. It was meant to be another kind of discussion with your group or some people next to you, but let me just throw some else, okay? In your own words, and maybe take just like 30 seconds to think about it. In your own words, explain what a chart looks like, okay? And actually, in your own words, jot down some things of what a charge looks like. And so if you want to take this with me, you can write down charge. Number one, jot down a couple words, and then we'll just kind of discuss. So number one is what does charge look like? Number two is what does a block look like? So go ahead and let's do this together. So you kind of understand, right? What is charge, what is defense? What are some of the things you want to kind of look out for if you feel like having? Charge, who's got it? Don't be shy. Raise your hand. Someone. Yes, what you got? Okay, so they are in the space. Yes. Okay, the attack takes over that space. So some of those for me, the defender has their legal body position. Yes. The attacker continues to charge, maybe guard, push her way into that space where the defender is already established. Okay, so good. What about for the block? All right, so block we typically think of on the defensive side. So what are some things we're looking for that the defender can cause people to block? It's going to be illegal for them to do. Yes. Okay, yeah. They can be blocking the ball. Yeah. Okay, you got to give an advantage, certainly. What does she have to do like? Yes. Yeah, similarly, if the attacker already owns that space and the defender jumps right in front of them, does that give her time and space to change her direction that we said she needed to do for her charge? No. So then this time the defender is going to be called for the block. Good. So some verbiage to take with you as the attack when the ball is moving, if the defender steps or extends into the path. And what if they just do like a little hip check out? Is that causing an advantage to slow them down? Yes. All right, even body contact could be a call very dangerous contact something they're making too. If they step or extend into the path of the attacker, not allowing for time and space to change directions. All right. Number three. Contact. So there's one of our cardinal fouls. What are some of the things that maybe should sign here.
The challenge is a little tricky there. Already really close to each other, and she dips her shoulder towards me, and now pushes it. So people get to this happy established position, and we're good to go initially. Playing the defense, just like it is that. The second she dips her shoulder and pushes into me and displaces me, she's covered. Okay, does that make sense? What happens is the defender who had really good position, she goes to dip her shoulder. She's coming in me and I push out to get extension because she pushed it in me. I get called. Okay, so what you're looking for in a charge situation is who actually made the dangerous. If I make it dangerous, did I extend first? Or push into me first? If she pushes into me first, she's in the charge. Does that make sense to you guys? Questions on that? Yeah, if I realistically, and we're touching each other, it's on the high school level. If we're here, and it's just equal pressure, and everything's fine, and I go like that, I should get called. I should get her shoulder is dipped.
If she leans a little bit, we're not gonna call that. If she leans down and pushes out, then it's gonna be different. Again, if we're just both pushing into each other at the high school level, this is gonna be a no call.
I think about the advantage too, right? Like if I did this, then I'm gaining advantage to take that space, and then she had to protect her space.
Okay, so the other one that confuses people a lot is I'm standing here, you know, I'm around the field, and she is flying down the field with the ball. And instead of going around me, she chooses to go through me. And I might go like this, because I'm about to get run over, that's a charge. Okay, I'm just standing here, ready to play defense. Even if I was gonna foul her, she has to go around me. And she can't go through my chest. So again, even if she's running at me, and I make this motion, like, oh, got it. Her charge. Yes.
Sure, what means you bring?
Oh, okay, so me, this is where I go, not only something, I will say. If we come up and I do like this, like we bump each other, and I don't go like this is just a.
It's like a whole position, right? That's still able to hold my ground, but.
We're gonna have a little contact, all right, we just can't, one of us can't make it more dangerous to where it becomes out. Like so, a block, block. Oh, it's not a block like that, that's like. Look at the blocking. Okay, so a block. I'm gonna start the block. Okay, so we just talked about how she is running full field downfield. A full field downfield. And I'm racing myself, but now she starts to go around me like she should. And I go like this. I now put a piece of my body in front of her to try to stop her. That's a block. Okay, she was trying to do the right thing. She was trying to go around me, and I decided to step in front of her, and she hadn't seen me. And it could look awful. It could be, she hits me, and I go flying, and I was like, oh, charge. You know, I actually treated it like that. Okay, you have to sacrifice that. Okay, so that's what you want to decide is who made the play dangerous. Even though she's running really fast, I made dangerous because I expected her path, which I don't have the right to that space. My space is here. Okay, so that's what you're determining. Who has the right to the space? If she takes that space first, I can't just step in front of her and muscle her out of that space. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, when it comes to a pick, and when there's a lot of those things, that's cool. Okay, you are determining whether a player blocks. Right? We had this more college than the other level. And that's why I'm in school a little bit. If I just touch Kendra and she goes flying, probably fine. Okay, where you actually see flopping the most is on the top. She goes to shoot, I'm trying to really defend it. She really chucks herself on the ground like, but again, after the defender as well. The movement is actually too far. That good for the last little term? Okay. Okay.
Discussion on dangerous contact. Okay, so what about dangerous contact are we concerned about? In your rule book, there's some verbiage that I'll give you, but what could be dangerous contact? Go ahead. Hitting? Like, what is it? Okay, yeah, so with some of those scenarios, maybe she tried if she used so much force that it was, you know, she wasn't making a play on the ball at all, and she touched this player to the ground. Could we go ahead and mark that foul? Okay. Okay, so verbiage from the rule book, thruster shows a defenseless player with or without the ball. All right. Could be right down out of visual field if they're going up for a ball and they have no idea there's someone there, and that other player pushes them while they had gone up for the ball, especially making contact with kidneys, ribs, back, neck, shoulders, that kind of thing. Okay, so defenseless player is some of the keyword there. All right, let me pick out a few good ones here. What about if a player is in 3 seconds, are they? Okay, remember, 3 seconds is where they are inside the 8-meter, not marking a player, right, within a 6 lane. So, if the player is in 3 seconds, are they in shooting space? If there's been a scoring play, if they are in a path to goal, all right, and if it could be hanging out in 3 seconds, we may not, you know, we may have our flag up to see what happens, but then shooting space could occur. If they're in a longer than 3 seconds, it does not necessarily mean that they're in the path of a shot that's happening, right? Okay. What about number 7? If the players in the shooting space, are they in 3 seconds? Yes, no, or it depends. Also, it depends, right? Because if they're alone in the arc for 3 seconds, they may find themselves in shooting space in that time, right? But also, the defender can be in the 8 meters or less than that in shooting space. So, let's see. Number 9. Okay, so some of these two things, and I was going to talk through, a lot of these kind of go in tandem, like shooting space in 3 seconds, a lot of times will be called because one or the other, because oftentimes that player's hanging out in there, it creates space for the shooter, you know, to go, their players will clear out or the defender can go with them, right? And so then oftentimes you will see that shooting space occur there, but not necessarily always. But for shooting space occurs when the ball enters the CSA. It becomes something for us to call. 3 seconds becomes something for us to call once it crosses the ball, crosses the restraining line. Okay. So if the shooter is out 15 yards away, we're not going to see a shooting space call. Okay, it's called once they enter the CSA, and then again, the restraining line, if the ball is down there, as soon as the ball crosses the restraining line, if players are down there in the 8 hanging out, we could see that 3 seconds there too. Okay. All right. Any questions? Major fouls. Let's see what is next. We have time to come back. That's when we end up with our, when we have a flag situation. So we hold our whistle, so to speak, and see what happens with the ball. If they're on a score, we don't want to take away that advantage. All right, so we're foul out signaling that we see a flag, we see the foul, but we're going to give them an opportunity, and we'll see what happens. So your setup will be similar. To give you kind of a definition of also, we have tackles and we also all right? We have so raising your flag again, just kind of details you're looking for it to say. We'll talk about more field, specifically because there's we cancel.
it's a continuous effort to move the ball by the attack team towards goal and actually lead to a shot. And it's leading, so we will be still making sure it's the foul and we have it in place that's not with you how to take that shot. All right, but the stats are going to be similar as far as positioning, class situation. And also look at our, how do we get onto the test? Okay. All right. So pretty free section. Anyway. All right. So let's look quickly at forwards and then major fouls will be all around us. So forward fouls and he also has contact. As well. 5 yellow card for fouls. Check to the head, flash, the propel versus the follow through. Again, the propel is with what? The ball. And the follow through, we see that with the stick. Okay. Dangerous contact against the player. Talk about that. Flashing, uncontrolled movement with the cross, check to the head, and or neck area. Okay, that's really simple. Misconduct fouls. Participants are expected to uphold security as you as a player, a coach, an official, whatever role you have. Are playing security, right? We have to put out a so any behavior that is not in place or play, then that is misconduct and could be harmful offense. All right, we cannot conduct yourself in a rash, dangerous, unsportsmanlike manner, yellow or red card. Cannot deliberately endanger the safety of an opposing player, taunting them, embarrassing them, ridiculing, and such. Okay. All right. So routine leading your team measure during the game. So coaches coaching from outside of the coaching area, that could be like bench misconduct fouls, improper use of electronic equipment. You don't really have to worry about those things. Higher level, you can see maybe sound like the non-playing team and coaches situation. But really, we're focusing on behavior. Now, what you might see is fan behavior, right? At these levels, sometimes even surprisingly. And you know, that would be this kind of where it goes to the coach, because it's part of your team, right? But we want you to feel empowered to use the tools that you have. If something like that is occurring on the sideline, then talk to your partner. You'll have someone also there that's a more experienced official, at least initially, so you know how to kind of combat that. But that's why we have those tools, right? Yellow card is our way to say, stop the chit chat on the sideline if they're anything being directed towards the players. Now, it may be something certainly you want to have a conversation with the coach first, try to get it cleaned up and what have you. They might not have any idea that's going on the opposite side of the field, right? But it's still not okay for that or poor sportsmanship. All right. So they serve with a yellow card. That's it. So it's 2 minutes. Penalty time for a yellow card, 4 minutes for a red card. And they do not get a substitute. So they play man down during their time. Okay, they cannot go in before the penalty time is up either. That's different, right? That would be misconduct. They cannot protect the head and they go back in too early, then they get a misconduct out, right? All right, so misconduct, and they can either issue yellow or red. I mean, red has to be pretty deliberate. Read that. All my years, I've done one red one ever. You? Yeah. But I mean, it doesn't mean it's not warranted. It doesn't mean it could be one that happens, steering or pushing through the minus. Richard, how about you? Remember? I remember that. But not many, right? Like very strict
years, now up to 9 red cards. We are looking at 4 days span last season.
So even so, how many years? Very, very, nonetheless, if you have yellow card or 5 and then
and misconduct certainly. In a goalkeeper situation, if the goalkeeper commits a terrible foul, and there is a dress goalkeeper substitute, you have to stand in that other goalkeeper, all right, and then that original player would still sit out for 2 or 4 minutes. Goalie would leave the game, and then team switch short, goalie selects the field player who serves 2 or 4 minutes. You know, so if it was a goalie, then the other player, someone still has to come off, right? But that goalie actually comes off the field, and somebody still has to take the hard time, and so they'll pull the field player off to serve the player down. Yeah. All right, here's only one goalkeeper, then, the coach will select the field player again, right, and then keep the short, full player getting, the substitute goalie. Right, I don't expect too much about it here, right, some of those here. Sometimes 2 minutes, it's a real criteria, talk about issues, you want to make sure there's, you know, somebody can rotate them from a player coming in and stuff, so have to kneel 6. So you can tell, and then when it's penalty, they can either come back on themselves or come on with a substitute, so long as they have to take their card count. Red card, 4 minutes, same thing. That means that they're actually ejected, they cannot continue in the game if they have a red card. Right, yellow card, they cannot continue in the game if they have 2 yellow cards, doesn't mean they're ejected, it just means they can't continue in the game. So only have 2 yellows. 2 yellows does not equal a red in other words, okay? The coach is responsible for the actions of the team, for the cell, for the bench, decorum, as well as for the fans and spectators. Any charge of the coach does count towards the team's total. When you get a card, you call timeout. So stop it. Yes. Sure. When you get a card, you call timeout. All right, you want to stop the play, you're going to tweet, here. All right, you tell players, everyone to you, you're going to go to the sideline, that's way too, they know. You hold your card up and you tell them, you know, player 10, check the head, one card holds, one hand holds the card, the other hand is doing the mechanic, touch the head, give your signal like it says here, and then make sure that your partner knows what's happening, so they can, you know, make sure that nothing else is going on during that. Moving out, moving, we cannot, otherwise we lose the clock. So he's see, roll. So start at the card and with a yellow flag, and it's in the card to stop the clock. That's really good. So play happening, the CD is each other in the CD, the flag up, and then boom, the red card now. And player is going to go down, and the interact with the flag could also represent a card and issue the card out, but I would say it's just still be on the air to go ahead and clean that up. Or something that, but probably my role. Time actually, after us, so more experience visual, if something's happening with that store. Definitely that something or that this needs to go in for a tournament or something like that, or, you know, Lely hosts several in the fall, so make sure that those tournament people know what's going on the field if any of that business does happen. All right, the 5 minutes for cards, who's got it? All 5. Who's got it? Okay, all 5, who's got it? Flash, check in the head or back also inclusive. What else? Follow through and propel and yeah, and this product is kind of like the other one because it's like on coaches and kind of like the 5K, right? Yeah. Remember, defenseless player. Dangerous. All right, this is one for you on the bench. Coach, how do you issue a card in front of the field? We just went through this weekend. They stop the clock, big signal, make sure everybody knows what's happening. Card and mechanics, and then they put up. Okay. Awesome. Big one. Major foul. Different bucket for outside. We measure often similar to the major because of the status. So we have our starting line. We talked about last time, starting line. We don't want to get into the 30 yards, right? We're going to cut out any small field that has to come on the other side. So when the ball is in between the defensive end, it's going to only have a 6. Okay, the ball is in between the defensive end and the only outside and the middle. So that would be the 2 because of the goal, right? So good habit when you become first few games, you want to count forward, right? Don't turn around and count behind you. I know it's going to seem like a lot probably, but look forward because could the players back here be subbing? Maybe they're in a car or something like that. Subbing, going out injury, what have you. So you want to make sure you know forward across the field. So when teams are coming from short, they just start the so in that case, before you go, they can get that. Turn around before you. It's hard. It's not a question of rules, but what team should you count first? Yes. Yeah.
Always talk to tacklers. In my opinion.
Yes.
Because everyone's going to be fully upset if I didn't get it. They just want to know that it's going to be.
All right, so, yeah, when you count forward, always have the attack first, so you can, that's how I go, you try to get into fire, early strategy, like as soon as that ball starts transitioning, you're starting to look forward, right? As soon as it's already down there. Because if you count forward, you know, you're forward, no one else. So, you're looking forward, already, better same line, and also our kind of attack, because if it's the attack, creating that outside, it's immediately, we want to catch it right away. If it's the defense, and they step over just a couple steps and we have to get back. Okay. We'll put our hand out, we know what's happening, but we may not necessarily want to take away the advantage if the attack is going to be. All right, I'm going to call. So attack, you try to go outside, immediate ball. Just like those that learn to count, also the attack first. When you do type of defenders, if the defense goes outside and you hold your whistle, we want to show the foul. The outside looks like this. You want to show open hand that you see it. And if you make the call, you close your hands. But regardless, put your hand up. And then if they make it back, a couple steps back, pull, no impact on the plate, then you can put your hand down. Right? Penalty administration. So there's 3 scenarios. The defense gets the ball at the spot of the ball, no closer than 8 meters to goal. That should be something you know now. So if the attack goes outside, defense is going to get it, and we just have to bring it up 8 meters away. What if it's behind, but in the CSA? Where's it going to go? The dot. All right, also 8 meters away from the goal. So if it's behind, it's in the CSA. And it's outside, period, actually. Whistle stop. All right, by the defense, inside the CSA. All right, above the goal line, attack is in free position, athlete free positioning. At the center of 12, closest opponent, 4 meters behind. So if the defenders are outside, the ball is inside the CSA, we're going to bring it to the 12, the right hand of the center, clear the lane. All right, if it's below the goal line, the defenders stop. All right, here's a couple of requests. These 3 attackers behind the 20 line. What do you call outside immediately? If they're behind the 20 line, so that means if you're going to go this way as a pixel and they're back here, would you call it immediately? Okay, maybe they're stopping, right? So we're going to count forward instead, right? Because we know if they're in a car, we need 6. If they're not, we need 7. And then you have your goalkeeper, okay? So not necessarily. Okay, if you're done outside, it comes back to the same line. We go outside immediately. We call it. Maybe, right, if they have an advantage, you want to allow that. All right, but if they took a step, their momentum and maybe get back, or if the attacker is, not impeded by their offside, and maybe just have a that's acknowledged and then take the first. All right, and what about it? After goal, we just have offside on the attack, do a goal. No, right? It's a relative point, right? You definitely want to try to catch that before. How does that feel? Well, not good, right? If you miss an offside, but your partner is the one that's able to catch it oftentimes, right? You're like, whoop, yeah, well, let's go. And your partner's like, oh. So we always check in with each other before we make that automatic, hands are going up. We want to make sure that our partner is done with that count if it was a quick transition or something. Yeah. And they'll yell it at you on the field. So don't necessarily, go by that island. They might not see the sub. Yeah, they might not know the sub. They might not know there's a part that just happened, something like that. Okay. So keep that in mind. Always, you can put your hand up, count, then put your hand down. You don't need to make the call. Okay, so we'll say offsides also because it's so hard to see that. Just some other scenarios. Okay, how are we doing? Two-person positioning is next. We good? Can you second? Okay. I'll get my next copy out and then we will 5 minutes. 5 minutes stretch.
Hey, Christine, let me show you. So I don't know. I mean, we can probably just use the youth comparison chart and just go over some of the particulars. We can just talk through that. And then we can send this anyway, because I didn't include everything. I was like, well, we can send, because it was the PDF. Remember, I said it would be difficult to present, but let's just do that. And then we can speak, you can speak through maybe the youth. Why don't we go ahead and count?
Christy passed out a new comparison chart. This is also what you had initially, but we're gonna talk through it at the end. So just so you don't have to take your time to get that going. Another minute or so, we'll start with two-person positioning, so you know kind of where to stand, and then you'll get obviously better with that when you're on the field itself. But good animated slides here, and then we'll get used, and then Lely's gonna talk about the test. And all that will come over corrections and whatnot.
I think we do. We have a We're gonna give you, I can say. Get your focus.
All right, y'all ready? So this last part, not in the packet information. If you want to take kind of the general notes on it on your scratch paper, that's fine. But there's a lot of animated slides. You can kind of see where the rep is moving. That I think are just good visuals. And then obviously when you're on the field, you'll have more time with that. Okay. But two-person assembly. So when you start out, very. What, up to 3-4, we still do just one, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth grade. So if you end up with an assignment first and fourth grade, we'll use one official. Right? Participation, we'll talk about the youth piece in a little bit right after this, but Generally speaking, your two-person position is what we will use. The higher level high school will put 3-man on it, playoff games will put 3-man on it, college, always 3-man and so on. Okay, but two-person, this will be what you are going to be rating on. Even if you end up doing those 3, 4, as in third and fourth grade games, we will rate you on the 5, 6 level games, 5th and 6th, so you get the full, like everything you need to know for your season. You can always come down with those modifications, so to speak, when you need to get down. Okay, so goals of a two-person system. Again, this is not an analysis. This has got some good visuals. To put us in the best position to make the calls. If we're in position, we'll be able to make the call, right? And again, we want to keep it safe, clear, and fun. So we're in the right position, we'll be able to do that. As a team, we cover all the areas of the field the most efficiently as possible. So if you're in the right position, then you'll be hitting those areas of the field when you need to, wherever the ball is. All right, so going back again to our safety, fairness, and fun. So your two-person position, you have table side official, and then you have your far side official. All right, so that's kind of the verbiage that we use. The table side typically will be your more experienced official if you're going out and newer this season. They run it with on the coaching side. Now, oftentimes you may see us rotate through. When you're first starting out, you may or may not do that. It's kind of an official's preference, but if you stay the same side the whole game, table side will be on that coaching side. They will typically be the first one to be able to do any questions. If the coach had a question or deal with the timer, the table situation, something there. The far side official, often your first few games or first season, we can we'll put you over there. Now, sometimes you deal with some fan things. You may have to let us know about that, but both officials will do all the pregame. We definitely want you to experience all that. Stick tight, everything will be both officials. Once it begins, they have the same duties. It's only their position on the field, whether it's on the coaching side or the opposite side that you're dealing with, right? Everything else is the same. They work together as a team, and depending on where the ball is, one official will be the lead official, the other the trail, and when the ball transitions, then that other official is leading and the other official trail, right? So you're still doing the same thing, just opposite times. All right. Like I said, sometimes you rotate every 2-3 goals. Again, that's just preference. In the 3-man game, you do rotate, but don't worry about that this first game out. So what you'll notice here is your areas of responsibility. So we've got the officials here. We know this is table side official because what is this area? Substitution area. How big is it? 10. Yes, 10 yards. And then you've got your official that runs the full length here, and you'll notice the red is when she's leading the ball, right? So that's when she's the lead official, when the ball is going this direction and it's down here, she's leading it. Okay, she's in front of it essentially. And then when the ball turns, now triangle or 2 triangles this way. All right, and your lead down on this end of the field, but you're focused on this part of that triangle, and then also switching this way, but you're focusing on this triangle. All right, the middle area, it could be either ball. And you would stick around and being able to see the space in that shape, in this shape right here. Okay. Area of responsibility. So again, if it's left top, she's got her end line and her sideline. Other officials here would have his or her sideline and end line. Right, so they're going to be in the best vantage point to be able to see a boundary. Okay, this is there's a ball coming out this boundary, it's going to have the better visual. It's transition, you're going to come down where it's coming. I got close to boundary to the agency. All right, there's your responsibility on the draw. Right, so both players may help out, make sure. But one is going to be outside the draw, and so the other for those entering early, always at the start of the game, the far side official is going to right, so this is the draw, and then
sunblocks, here's your team bench. So, here's what the draw is happening. One, what's happening on the draw, take a quick glance, even if it's on the scroll, and then the other one, pick those out, choose that actually, has to actually get in there and do the draw setup and everything there. Whistle that on. The other official is again with on his back. That whistle will tweak, and your official that's putting up the draw will back out. Keeping in mind, sometimes before you back out, take a quick glance, make sure there's no players back there, they can move, but still, at least your space goes back out. So your CSE is responsible, it's not for the critical scoring area. So again, it's not us or leading the ball, your lead official, trailing the ball, behind it is the trail official. So it's your turn for you when you're on the field, lead versus trail. Officials covering space. Ball running down the field. Trail behind it, what are they able to see? How are they able to see? Now, if the ball's coming down this side of the field, is Trail going to be able to see that? No. And even though it's coming at them, we still get a good visual on it coming at them. They choose on their side, and Trail will be able to it's another and share their side. With the right quick. Definitely you see it, you want to do that call, right? So trail, that's a good one. What else is trail? Typically somewhere becomes off ball. What else might we see off ball? Yes. The offside coming down, that's definitely something you have already counted. Good. Maybe 3 seconds. And typically see the ball because they're following the ball and make sure there's nothing happening if it goes into right, like actual play. So pushing, both of them looking for pushes or any kind of dangerous plays there. Right. So typically we lead on ball, free space on your side, goal circle because you have to follow the in-line sideline, and then in off ball may be happening on your side. Trail, off ball, free space, you talk about that, restraining lines, yes, propels and penalties. Good. All right, now your areas are going to be your tangent or your quadrants. You may one may resonate more with another. What does tangent mean? Geometry. So what angle of measure? You're at a right angle. Okay, so this is what's happening. If the ball is coming down this direction, then you, the official, are going to be at a right angle to it. Why is that? Well, you want to be able to see if it comes into the goal circle, if there's a goal circle violation, right? Or if between the players, the space, you can see that, and there's some other kind of foul, right? So you want to be tangent to the ball. If the ball again is coming this way, you're tangent to it to see. All right, and similarly, trail could be picking it up on the other side, right? You're going to be in the ball is in the quadrant. The ball is in this quadrant. It's really pale, but they're going to move. So when you change the position off the top and the middle, ball is here. So at the top, rock is here. Ball is back here. We're going to be down just a little while. What could the ball do? Could it go this way? Yep. Come around this way. So we're going to be able to either move, boom, boom, either way. So we can be quick to catch that tangent either way it comes around the circle. Right? So the ball goes that way, boom. We're in the quadrant next door. We are at that tangent. Ball down low, comes up with it. So quadrant is
started, quadrant we started, the ball moves here, we move to the quadrant next door. So again, another tangent here, balls here, we're in the quadrant next door.
Now, this may be up to that we have down below, but we're still in that adjacent water. Go out the water. Up around it. L2, we're in one. Adjacent. L4. And it moves up. Right. Comes down and then it keeps rising. Okay, the ball is here. Come on, ball down, and that's what's behind it. Now it's going to. Any questions?
Presentations, so I'll send that to also look through your views, but you have this in the digital, but here is the other. And Chrissy's just gonna go over some highlights to keep it.
So if you go through the columns, the first column is down here.
always do this.
If you're
And if you guys are looking for, a little bit longer.
Right, right. You never lived in
School that was like, and it was like, out. Indoors. It also brought those games. And then another one's later after you got here. So it's really in Texas, and we're like, awesome. You're gonna take about a school house on it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's like so terrible.
No, he lives in Austin.
Yeah. I'm talking about an hour.
Uh-huh.